Hi, beauties. This may be the most raw share that I ever do on Facebook, but I feel like I want to say these things because they're important. And I know that my story is also the story, at least in a more general way, for many of you. I had somebody say something to me recently that really hurt me, where I felt deceived and attacked. And I felt their reaction. I had a therapist who once said that someone has when you step on their broken toe, where they go, and they respond not just to what the person has said to them, but to a lifetime of getting a certain message, and they just have this moment of like, enough, right? Enough. But as I sit with why I had that kind of inflammatory reaction, I realized that I wasn't just reacting to something personal. I was reacting to something that is a global disease. My dad had something that he would say that illustrates this so beautifully, where he would say, my fantasy is that a thin woman who's blonde with big breasts is gonna come and make love to me and then put me in the tub and wash me like a little boy. And what was so beautiful about it is he didn't feel any shame, like this didn't sound weird to him that he was having this fantasy. And it so perfectly illustrated what men have been marketed that they can get and expect from women. This woman is going to gratify my sexual desire and then take care of me like a little boy. The sun is changing. And to fully get this medicine, it's going to be a woman that looks like whatever beauty standard is the ideal in that moment. For my dad, that was a very thin, blonde woman with big breasts. For someone else, it could be a woman who looks like Kate Moss. It could be someone who's shaved, not shaved, certain height, certain frame, whatever it is that they have learned to idealize. That is going to be the right pill to get them the medicine that they need. And as a women, I think we've experienced the flip side of this place where we feel reached for like something that's gonna save the man or fill in a piece that they don't know how to fill in for themselves. Basically, we're objectified so that we can be used as a tool for something else. We're not necessarily being enjoyed or appreciated as we are, or even seen. We're being evaluated as what level of medicine is this in terms of what I've been marketed, and what is my best way to get and use this medicine. So it's strange as a woman. I think most women or people who identify as women enjoy feeling beautiful. We enjoy potentially decorating ourselves, expressing ourselves, being in the vibrancy and the fullness of life. But then there's this darkness of, if I do this, am I going to make myself a brighter flower to be plucked? Am I going to put myself in a position that these men who are hungry, like hungry ghosts, are going to come and pluck my leaves and try to eat them to feel better? And this conflict between wanting to come into our pleasure, wanting to come into our fullness, wanting to come into our vibrancy, and this awareness that the culture is sort of on the prowl. And our sensuality, our sexuality, our vibrancy, our true beauty has been marketed for centuries as something to be consumed. I have a print of a painting it's over 100 years old. It's called The Cursed Woman, but you can recognize as an older painting. And it's of a woman who is being gone down on, is receiving a lot of pleasure. And when people pass by that corner where they see their painting, they're shocked, right? And again, the irony is this print is called The Cursed Woman, right? Like this is like something horrible and bad and disdainful because she's in pleasure for herself. Because at that time, and still now in different ways, women were being marketed as the flower to pluck. Standing in awkward positions, just being like, pluck me like a flower. And we still have this, but now it's even more profane. Men are being kept at the level of 12-year-old boys by media and porn. I learned this in a women's studies class, like way back in the day, and they actually showed MTV, they showed advertisements, they showed the media out there, and the way that it is being marketed to 12-year-old boys. Have this, get this, you're owed this. Just like, go buy a big soda and you'll feel better. Not anything about, here's who you need to become to see and enjoy a woman. Here is the flip side of a full woman. Here's how to show up in your body in a way where you can actually enjoy a woman. Here's how to grow up. There's none of that. There's just, get this. Get this. You make some money and you can get the woman and the car, right? You feel bad? Here's some porn that's all about your pleasure and nothing about your education. You feel bad? Disconnect. You feel bad? Striate yourself into mind and penis. And just go on those channels and nobody is going to ask anything different from you. And if they try, or they don't fulfill your expectations, it's their failing and you need a better level of medicine. Maybe next time you should go for a thinner woman. Maybe next time you should go for a younger woman. Maybe next time you should go for a different ethnicity of woman, because they're not people, they're pills. I am so angry about this for all of us, because I have worked with men also around this who didn't come to me saying, hey, Isis, can you help me? I'm an asshole. They came to me because they couldn't get an erection anymore. They came to me because they were hurting. They came to me because they couldn't really feel anything. They came to me because the pill they needed had to be stronger and stronger and more extreme every time, because they were losing their connection to themselves that they had never actually been encouraged to develop in the first place. It is painful for all of us. So sad. I've worked with men who have porn addictions. I've worked with men, and it's addictive. The stuff is addictive. Nobody is bad here. This is a system that we are in that is destroying all of us. And what I noticed is that men who are younger and younger are having issues with erections. One, because they're training themselves to be in this disconnect. They're being pandered to not learn how to create a connection to their body. they're learning how to disconnect. And then they get in front of a woman and they have trained their nervous system to only respond to a certain type of thing. And they're being told, just like men have for a long time, it's not you, it's the woman. You can't get turned on because maybe she's a little fat. You can't get turned on because maybe her breasts aren't quite the right size. Go for a different woman and you'll be fine. And I'm here to say, if you are not turned on by flower, if you can't get an erection looking at a flower, if you're not turned on by sunset, if you are not turned on by sniffing your food, it's not about the woman. It's about you. You are losing your erotic nature. You are losing and maybe have never been encouraged to find your connection to yourself. Your turn on is in you. And if you have trained your body to the point where you can only come, excuse my language, Facebook, please don't delete this, but from a certain stimulus, that is your thing to change. It doesn't mean you need to do something more extreme with a woman and that she owes that to you because you saw that somewhere. She is not a pill. She does not owe you anything. But what you owe yourself is to feel. What you owe yourself is to bring your body alive again, to come into a place where you can feel your subtle senses, where you feel the aliveness, the electricity of being in your body, of tasting, of sensing, of waking up again, and possibly pushing out all of this stuff that is deadening you to the point where you're not excited just to be alive anymore. Also, as a woman, it's not just about, saying, hey men, right? It's about us. It's about becoming bulletproof with this type of thing. I had a man put down my body, and it surprised me. And the entitlement of how he said it surprised me. The deceit of finding this out in a bad moment surprised me. But you know what? There are a million things people have said about my body that did not touch me at all. And the fact that it did touch me, that it reached into a place where it hurt and I went, that's on me. I once had a boyfriend in Mexico. He was a sort of a mean joker. And he said to me, Isis, you're fat, you're stupid, and you're ugly. And I said to him, did you say I was fat? And he said to me, did you not hear the other things? And I said, no, not really, because I know I'm not stupid. I know I'm not ugly. But fat has been like the worst thing. I said, as a North American woman, I have to tell you that's not something that you should joke about. And he's like, that's a you issue. Like the fact that I said all of this stuff and you reacted is a you issue. And I thought, you know what, you're right. You're right. And what this man had said was that he preferred thinner women. And he didn't know if he could feel like enough attraction to me to continue because I was curvy. And what I heard was this disappointment. This is a me thing, right? Like, of I was not a good enough pill for him. And it was my failing, which made me very angry because I have been on the receiving end of this as a woman quite a bit. And then I heard that I wasn't enough, while simultaneously understanding on a bigger level that this was just me having a broken toe stepped on. And it was very much a him issue. And this is something, women, that we need to fully pull out of our body. This place where we are responsible for the feeling of a man. This place where we are continuously trying to be better objects, so we are the pill that's chosen. And to really understand we're not a pill at all. One of the things that I was exposed to as I've been working with women around body image a really long time. And I've been working with myself for a really long time too. But I watched a video of a woman who was dying. She was 21 and she was hooked up to machines. And she said in one of her videos, "I'm so grateful to be able to breathe. I'm so grateful to be able to move my fingers. I can't believe women criticize themselves for being fat." And I was like, I have an indent in my head from brain surgery a year ago. I don't really have time to worry about whether or not my breasts are the right size for somebody. I know that I am the person in the body. And I know that I am somebody very grateful to be in this body at all. I am grateful to not be in a wheelchair. I am grateful to not have half of my body paralyzed from a stroke. I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful for the level of health that I have. I am so grateful to be able to connect through this body, to be able to decorate it, to be able to enjoy it. And it is a privilege. It is such a privilege. And that makes it more than enough for me. And I also know that I have done the work to see the man in the body when I'm dating or with a man. And it's been work, right? Because I grew up also, being given certain preferences. This man ranks higher than this man. This type of body ranks higher than this man. I remember being in Rome and seeing guys literally posing in the train station, like watch ads. And a little part of my brain was like, oh, well, that's. And I've had to disassemble that. And it has been a process, which is one reason why I know men can do the same thing. To meditate and be present and tune myself, one, to the fact that a person's body, while to a certain degree it's an expression, but their features are happenstance. They're genetic. They were a gift. Like the size of my breast, the height of a guy, the size of his sex, that's not about him. He has no control over that. So to really feel in whether the man looks stereotypically attractive, and I have dated some very stereotypically attractive guys, or if it's somebody who doesn't look very stereotypically attractive, it's not really personal to who that person is. And if I want to connect to the beauty of who they are, I have to first marvel at their body and feel in to the person inside their body. Their body is an interface of who they are. I spent a year working with men around sexual dysfunction, around connecting with women, around body image. And one of the things that I did, and I'm really grateful that I spent this year, it was profound and edgy, is I would have them get naked. And then I would stand in front of them clothed and really look at them. Really look at them. And some of the men, they were coming to me because they had issues with this stuff. I remember one man was so large that his skin was glued together by pus because, when it chafes like that, it can get kind of pus in there, irritation. And it was not my job to assess his worthiness, because it's not our job to assess the other person's worthiness. It was my job to see his beauty. It was my honor and my privilege to see his beauty, to feel him, to love him, to meditate on his beauty, and to let him feel that from me. Another man came in, he had burns all over his body. There were men who, one man had his prostate removed, and he couldn't get an erection. Like, men came in all different levels of vulnerability. And I had the extreme privilege to meditate on their beauty, to look at them. I think it's really funny. I'm having a little spammer say, "Are you single? Are you single? Are you single?" Yes, I am. But anyway, like, in this way, it was a part of my deprogramming to be able to really be with another human being. And it's something that I've worked hard on for most of my adult life. And to see them, and to enjoy them, and to be turned on. Because I was in my body, in my turn on, and I could see their beauty. Not because they deserved it. And I think this is the differentiation I really want to make. Our turn on, our capacity for turn on, is in us. There is no magic pill for that. There is no better and better person, more highly rated socially, more highly rated in terms of what you've been marketed, that is going to bring you alive. You have to do that yourself. And a lot of that is becoming innocent again, is resensitizing yourself, allowing that turn on to move through your entire body, not just come from your head and your sexuality, to feel your senses again, to breathe, to unravel all of this BS you've been given, and to become more like the child who's just excited to be alive, who feels. How else are we really going to see each other? How else are we going to stop trying to consume each other? And as a woman, I don't want to feel on the defensive. I don't want to feel like my vibrancy is something to be plucked. I don't want to have to puffer fish to keep myself safe. I want to simply be respected as a human being, to be enjoyed like a flower that you can smell and you can feel brought alive by, but you don't feel is instinctually yours. My friend asked me, as I kind of move through this experience of like feeling hurt and feeling angry, and then she said, what is it that this was trying to protect? I believe so profoundly in the beauty of men. And I have been in a place of great privilege, both with partners and also with people I've worked with, whether it's been in the context of a couples counseling or the year I worked specifically with men. of seeing the innocence, the beauty, and the vulnerability of men. And I want to protect that perspective. I want to continue to believe in the beauty and the vulnerability of men. And I hope that all the women out there, the men who are allies to women, that we can continue to come in to our body in a way where we understand it's a gift, it's an interface, it has nothing to do with our worthiness. It will change over time, things happen, it has nothing to do with our worthiness. And continue to build our sensitivity and turn on in a way that we can really enjoy each other without expecting the other person to fix us. If you can't do it yourself, don't expect someone else can do it for you. And in that way, I think that we can really be with each other. And I want that. I want that. I see it happen all the time in my work with people. I've seen it in my own relationships, but when it doesn't happen, it breaks my heart. Because we're all missing out. So anyway, lovelies, thank you for hanging in there with this raw, honest share. The cat is meowing at the door pitifully. Let me in, let me in. And may you do something today that you can feel your turn on. You can feel your aliveness. You can feel that you are yours. You can be grateful for the interface of your body. And remember, it's more than enough.